Hey guys, Mark Dealman here with Real Deal Auto Haus, and today I'm going to be making a couple changes to my car. I'm going to be changing out the factory tail lights, and I've already done the side markers. I don't know if you can kind of see that in the background, but they're the new tinted side markers. I'm going to go ahead and take everything apart on the car, as there's a lot of videos out there of showing people how to actually take it apart. So I'm just going to do a quick version of it, show you the before and after, and maybe some tips and tricks on the installation if I come across any during the process. So anyway, I'm gonna get the car taken apart, and then I'll be back with you to show you what it looks like once it's all apart. So stick around. So there's the original tail light. I think that is the right side. There's your left. New ones are sitting here in the boxes, and as you can see, they're the smoked finish, or they call the GM dark finish. Here's some of the stuff that had to come out of the trunk. I took the back panel off here, and obviously those have to come off. This does not, but it makes it way easier. And I took my floor mat out of the back, as well as the floor liner. You'll have to excuse me, guys, fighting a cold. So I already have the back end of the car apart. You can see no light, no light. Here's what the inside of your car would look like. Although I have STP on my floors and some of the wheel well area. STP is kind of like Dynamat. It's a sound deadening material, doesn't add a lot of weight, but with the louder exhaust and also some of the stereo work we're going to be doing at my shop, I decided to put some in there and start while I tore this apart. If you guys have Bose, there is your factory Bose amplifier right there. And here's the inside of the well. We're actually going to be fiberglassing a box in this area that's going to come out through this panel. So we'll have a, I don't know, I'm not sure if we're going to do 3 8-inch woofers potentially right here, or maybe 2 10s or 1 12. Haven't quite decided yet. So I want to keep the weight down, so I might just end up with single 10, single 12. We're going to be using a brand called Audio Mobile, and I'm using one that has a neodymium magnet to cut weight down. So anyway, on the other side, here's your battery. And one thing I will tell you, and I'll show you some of the tools I use to do this, because you're going to have to remove some clips that go into these holes here. You'll have to remove the little guys, the push clips that go into these holes here. And I did 1 up here, 2, and 3, so I could move this all the way over like that and have plenty of room to get to the bolts. It does require that you remove this back panel too, which is just 4 nuts. And then I will tell you a little trick here. Rather than yank on these lights to pull them out, I don't know if you can see the little glowing orange clips right there. The reason they're glowing orange is lights showing through them right now. So what those are on the lights, let me get back over to them here, is, so you have 3 nuts which go 1, 2, and 3. Those other little orange clip holders I showed you are actually for these threaded studs to pass through and lock into. So what I did, rather than try to yank those out, which I've seen a couple other people do in other videos and stuff, I used, here's the arsenal of tools I used right here. So I used a rubber mallet and just tapped it out really lightly, and it popped right out super easy. Didn't damage anything, didn't have to sit there and rip my light out. But so let's start with so obviously flathead screwdriver. You got a 14mm deep socket, and that's, I just use that to get these little guys off, to take that back panel off. And I use 3 different panel tools here. These are really easy for getting these clips out here, and as you can see, it does kind of bend those, so they'll go back in just fine. But if you want to grab some new ones, they're only a couple bucks for a pack. So then the panel tools also remove this 2-piece push clip here, And then you will have the 3 bolts per light, like I said, right here. So that requires, I think it was an 8mm. Double check. I can't read it. Yeah, there it is, 8mm. So 8mm socket. You're supposed to torque these to 11 foot-pounds, so you really don't need an actual socket wrench because they're just barely beyond finger tight right there. And then of course I use the light just to see better in there. And other than that, then before I arranged all this for video purpose, I had everything inside of here, which is nice, magnetic, and it holds all the bolts and stuff, and so you don't lose those, especially these guys, because there's one in the back that's hard to get to. So that's everything. I will tell you, very careful when you're taking out the light. So you'll see this little red lock right here for your Molex connector. So that red lock, well, they're pretty fragile. So the other side, you will see, is missing. So I do this pretty much every day for a living, working on cars, car audio, stuff like that. So I was very fragile with it. This thing must have just had a weak spot. So here is the red pin after I have fixed it. Unfortunately, the fix was a little bit of Gorilla Glue with a little bit of activator and then a heat gun. And I did a few layers around it. I don't know if you can quite see the break there, but it'll go back in there and do its job. Just wanted you guys to see kind of what this looks like in here. And adding this little bit of sound deadening just back here, you can, I don't know if you can hear, but it doesn't let anything really go through the metal and vibrate, which has helped on the resonance of any noise from the wheel wells and stuff like that, because you do get a lot of road noise in this car. So anyway, I plan on pulling this out when we do the speakers and stuff. We're actually going to sound deaden all of this. Going to do everything in here. And the nice thing is about, 10 sheets is what I'll end up using. And at the most, it'll add about 20 pounds. So anyway, I'll show you the finished product when we're all done. But right now, the car is basically apart. All right, so here's a shot with all the new lights installed. Obviously the headlights are stopped, and the daytime running lights. Oracle side marker, an amber, Oracle side marker in red, GM factory dark finish taillights, third brake light blackout kit, Alright guys, thank you so much for watching, and remember, send me your questions if you have any, and subscribe to follow along as I continue to bring you the real deal on all things automotive.